What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Social Club, where everyone has a voice. I'm your host, Jacob Hale, joined me by Cam Saunders.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Well, you already know what you gotta do. Like, follow, subscribe. Check out all of our other content. Comment down below your thoughts. Also, follow us on Instagram, the Social Club, where we post every single day. Anything you'd like to say?
Hey, man, welcome back, man. It feels good to be back in the studio, man.
You keep saying welcome back. We
It's
post
me.
every single
It's me.
week.
I'm welcome back.
We post every single
I'm
week.
back.
All right?
I'm back.
All right. Well, Cam's back, I guess. But anyway, let's go over this draft. We got a lot to talk about. Now, in our previous video, we did talk about Shedeur Sanders, so go ahead and check that out. So for this one, I'm not going to talk about Shedeur Sanders. I just want to go overall in the draft. What do you feel about it? Kind of where your pick. I think the first question is, were there any big surprises from the teams that you saw, and what were they?
It's not from the team, it's from players.
Okay.
My biggest surprise is that Kobe Bryant, Nick Nash, and
Isaiah Bond.
Isaiah Bond did not get drafted. That was Kobe. I don't know what happened. His junior year, he was projected a second-round pick. He was like a top 10 corner in the nation, and for him to go undrafted was very surprising. Nick Nash, 6'3". He was a former quarterback. He led the FBS in receptions, not receiving yards, but receiving touchdowns. He had like 16 receiving touchdowns, 95 catches for like 1,345 yards. Surprising. Isaiah Bond, I get it.
Yeah, no.
I get it. I get it. But them two was my biggest surprises, and that's kind of like why I want to start. Atlanta Falcons did sign both of them, Kobe Bryant and Nick Nash. And honestly, I think Nick Nash is going to make the roster. I think Kobe, he has potential to make the team. Do I think he's a starting back in the league? No, necessarily. He's a little light. I don't think he can run with the fastest, but also I don't think he got the frame to match up with the biggest, but I think he can make a good number 2 corner because injuries does happen on the defense side of the ball a lot. Well, I think he can come in on some nickel packages, play some good coverages for you. He got to get a little bit bigger, but I think he's worthy enough to be on a roster. But that was, first of all, my biggest 2 surprises before I get in, a little bit more depth about the draft. But what about you?
I think my biggest surprise come from the Green Bay Packers. Now, I obviously am a devoted Bears fan, so I have no business trying to help them out. But I will say it was very strange that they came in with receiver not being their problem on what they needed to address on positions. And then they went ahead and drafted 2 receivers in the first 2 rounds.
I disagree with you.
Well, okay. Well, let's talk about it because I'm very confused with this. Is that they had 5 receivers rotating last year.
Yep.
Then you signed in McCole Hardman, and then now you draft 2 receivers that still don't look like they're going to be true receiver ones for your team. So can you shed some light on that?
So
on what that thought is?
The Packers receiving core had the most drops in the NFL last year. The most drops in the NFL last year.
Yeah.
Secondly is I think they had the biggest injury problem out of any position group in the NFL. So 1, they was dealing with injuries, and 2, they can't catch the football. Now they do got some good young receivers that's very talented, but they're not reliable, and they also cannot stay on the field. So them drafting receivers was a good choice. I thought you was going to lean more of this is the first offensive player the Green Bay Packers drafted in like 20 years, I think.
Well,
that's what I thought you was going to. But the receivers, I have no problem with that at all. You pay your quarterback $250 million, you need receivers around there.
Well, I don't understand that pick then, because then why don't you just go out and get a veteran receiver then? Why would you go and draft more young players that are also like Matthew Golden? I love Matthew Golden, and I said it earlier, I think that's a sleeper pick, but he also has dropping problems. Like, that was his only negative grade, was that he tends to drop the ball as well. Dropping the ball is part of the game. That stuff is going to happen, right? But just like you said, with injuries to receivers, their secondary was completely depleted last year. They had Jair Alexander that was injured for most of the year, and then they had a rookie corner on the other side, right?
And that's who they drafted. They addressed them 2 positions.
No. They addressed it later. I don't understand why they didn't go first round with that. Because, again, you have 5 receivers, and you already signed McCole Hardman. So I'm like, okay, well, that must be what they're fixing.
Why you keep saying McCole Hardman like he's like a top receiver in the NFL?
I'm not saying he is a top receiver, but what I am saying, just like what you said on what the issues were with the younger receivers, okay, you got more of a veteran receiver to help stabilize the group. Why would you draft 2 more receivers? You have 8 receivers on the roster now.
You can never have too many receivers.
No, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense with everything else they need to address on that team.
So here's the issue. If you're the Green Bay Packers organization, where's all your money at on your roster? Where's all your money at? Quarterback.
Yeah, you paid your quarterback.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here's like, you can never have too many receivers. The only veteran receiver you have is Mecole Hardman that did not touch the field for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's not going to touch the field for the Green Bay Packers. He's there as an emergency guy because they was literally falling apart at receivers. So you just needed a body to come in to play, right? And then you say like, okay, bring in a veteran receiver. Outside of Stephon Diggs, who's out there in free agency that's available to help out the team?
Isn't Amari Cooper a free agent?
Amari Cooper, no,
I believe so.
Yes, he is a free agent, but Amari Cooper's probably going to re-sign with Buffalo.
But you didn't. I mean, was there an attempt? Did you try? Did you give Devontae Adams a call?
So
did you try to get him back? Like,
all right, but also it also falls down into, all right, what's the cap looking like, right? I'm gonna be honest. Green Bay is a team that always put their cap into their defense outside of their quarterback, right? They're trying to find young, good guys, skilled guys, because you already paid your quarterback, so you can't bring in another big time receiver and pay him 30. You know what the receiver market now, come on now, $40 million a year. You cannot afford to bring in a big time $32 million receiver when you're giving your quarterback $60 million a year.
But you're not going to.
Then you're going to be looking like the Dallas Cowboys when you got 3 people on your roster that's going to be 54% of your salary cap. So you got to.
The $40 million that you're talking about, that's only to like the top 15 receivers. But just like you said, they signed Mecole Hardman for a good deal. You can definitely do that. And also, again, they have a good offense. They have 2 catching tight ends. They have Josh Jacobs in the backfield. They have a good offense. Their offense was good last year.
It's not enough.
It wasn't like it was bad. Their defense fell apart, and that's what screwed them. Their defense and then Jordan Love's inconsistent play screwed them up. It wasn't their receiver core that was losing them the games. They needed a better defense, and this is the only year in Packers history that I thought it made perfect sense for them to go all defense. All the other years, I thought it was a little dramatic. I think it was too over the top. They should have went offense. This is probably the only year where I felt like I think their offense is fine. They needed to go defense.
I didn't think their offense was. I think they needed some help at receiver for sure. I agree. I think the Packers did really well. I think the Packers did well. I think my team, the 49ers, did well. We literally drafted all defense.
Okay, like, so who do you think did the worst?
Who I think did the worst?
Or just what was some bad picks that you didn't like?
Okay, obviously the Saints, right? Drafting that quarterback in the second round. To be honest with you, I think the Giants did. I don't know. Giants, I don't know if they got any better, but what I was really. Who I think won the draft was the Bears. I think the Bears won the draft. That's number one. I think the Bears won the draft. Who did sneakily well? I think the Titans did really, really well. They drafted a quarterback, and then later they drafted receivers to help that quarterback. That's what the hell you got to do when you're bringing in a young quarterback. I think the Titans did really well. I think the Steelers didn't do good enough. They didn't address They didn't address the quarterback position.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I think the Steelers. I didn't like their picks.
I didn't think the Steelers did really well.
I think the Chargers had some really great late round picks. Like that defensive end from South Carolina was a defensive player of the year, and they got him in like the 5th round. The edge rusher, I forgot his name, but that was a great pick by them. I'm not 100% on Marion Hampton, but I will give credit where credit is due. They needed a running back. They addressed it immediately in the 1st round. So you said the Bears. I will say, so I think with the Bears picks, I don't think it looked pretty.
I think the Bears won it.
Last year, it looked really good on paper. This year, it kind of looks like eh. But just like you said, I think in the end, that's going to work out because they still addressed a lot of the needs that we actually needed. Personally, for me, I would have just went all O-line, D-line, but there's a reason why I'm not a GM. I got to understand there's a method to the madness. So, got 2 dynamic tight ends now because we drafted Loveland.
Got a running back, got a receiver. Y'all address every single spot.
I didn't think we actually needed a running back, but it's fine to get another running back on the roster. You got 2 offensive tackles.
A receiver.
You got a good 3 technique defensive tackle from Texas A&M that I actually really like. So I wish they would have just did the O-line, D-line earlier, but I'm not a GM for a reason. I have to trust that they know what they're
I
doing.
think y'all did really freaking well. I don't think you, outside of that tight end, I think y'all should have took the tight end from Penn State over the tight end from Michigan.
Yeah.
But I think y'all wanted a more run block, bigger type of guy in there instead of more of a receiver pass catching tight end, which is fine. That's whatever they offense want to. But I think y'all did really well. Y'all brought in some speed with Luther. Y'all got a good tight end. Y'all brought in a running
Luther.
back. Y'all got drafted a couple corners. Y'all drafted some. Y'all did really well. You drafted a tackle.
Yep.
Y'all did really well. Also, another one. Cowboys did really freaking terrible. I don't know what Jerry was doing. Jerry don't go get a receiver within the first 2 rounds. That was really, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Jerry, I don't know what Jerry was.
Jerry Rice is running, or sorry, not Jerry Rice. Jerry Jones is running that team into the ground.
Yeah.
I don't understand them at all.
I don't know.
I really don't.
So for the last 10 minutes, because I want to talk about what players I think is going to be really good from this draft class. All right, I'm about to go over a list of players who I think that's going to be really well and that's going to make very good impacts on this team. One, my first one, I have to go with Jalen Milroe. I think Jalen Milroe is going to be a starter in the league. Maybe not first year, maybe not second year. I think Jalen Milroe is going to be a really good NFL player. That's number one. That's my first person. Jalen Milroe is going to be really, really good in the NFL. I really think so. Seahawks got a really good pick. 2. All right. Another one that really shocked me, and I have to go with this. I think Shedeur is going to be a really good quarterback in the NFL. Right. Who else? I already know people think this is a hot pick. Cam Ward is going to be really well. I think Cam Ward is going to be a Super Bowl winner one day.
That's not a hot pick. I mean, he was the first overall pick.
But to me, I think Ashton Genty might be the NFL leading rusher as a rookie. If I have to go with a hot take, I think that he's in the perfect system. And the reason why is I can't think of the head coach name because I'm blanking. I got a lot of stuff I'm thinking about right now. Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is at his best when he has a beast at running back. That's how he won the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. He had beast mode, taking a lot of pressure off of Russell Wilson. And I think with Ashton Genty, I think Ashton is going to be like, what's his name from Wisconsin, his rookie year when he.
Oh, Jonathan Taylor.
Bro, I think he's going to be Jonathan Taylor with a little bit of more on him. Hey, I think that's my favorite pick of the entire draft was Ashton Genty because the Raiders, I think he looked good in it. If the Raiders can have a good old line, boy, all hell is going to break loose with Genty.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll go on the record that Jalen Milroe is not going to be in the league in 2 years.
That's false.
That man's going to be a DC defender.
That's
in
false.
2 years.
No,
bro.
that's false.
Jalen Milroe is not good, bro. I don't understand. I didn't understand that pick at all, to be real with you. He's a project. He's a complete project. They got to work that out, but best of luck to them. I think he's going to be really well. I thought Omarion Hampton was very overrated going into the draft.
Uh-huh.
However, I will say the Chargers have a very great system. I think he's going to thrive in it.
Uh-huh.
I think he'll do well in that system. Luther Burden for the Bears.
Yeah, I think he's going to be really well. I think he's going to be around 750.
Ben Johnson in general, getting all those weapons in front of him and watch his genius go with that. Luther's going to be an ultimate gadget player. Garth was on the record and saying that Luther Burden is going to be like a Deebo Samuels type. I'm going to hold him to that, hopefully. If he is anything like that, then I'll definitely purchase his jersey.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How you feel about your quarterback now? Is it pressure? If the
Caleb
Bears,
Williams?
to me personally, I think if the Bears don't win 11 games, it's underachieving. And when does it comes to a point where okay, now it's on you, Mr. Number 1 overall pick? Is it this year where it's like okay, we got you what you need, take us there? Is it? Can we finally say that now about your quarterback?
Not this year, but next year.
Okay.
Yeah, not this year, but next year. And my reason why is the same issue why I felt like we should have gotten Eberflus out the first time was you can't put a demand like that on a first-year coach.
Oh, okay. That's why you said that. All right,
so
I'll give you that.
And then he's going into his sophomore year. Now, with that being said, we do want to see improvement. You can't be under 6 games again. You definitely can't be that.
I think I'm going to get 11.
You gotta be at least 7, 8 is the bare minimum. But
I think playoffs is...
Playoffs is a win. You go to the playoffs, that's definitely a win, but it's a very tough conference for sure. But the year after that, that's where it's like we need a deep playoff run. So that's where it's starting to get his foot to the fire, and it's nearing the end of his contract because I think he signed to a 4-year. So that'd be very important. Other than that, you guys let us know, who do you think won the draft and who you think was a really good sleeper pick for one of the teams. Comment down below your thoughts, but other than that, anything you'd like to say?
I know most of our followers on the podcast. I know y'all are really heavy football fans, and if y'all want us to, now that the draft over with, we are starting to get closer to football season. If you want us to start talking about football a little bit more, and we actually do enjoy football. Obviously, college football come around, as y'all know, hell is banned from the state of Ohio. But if y'all want us to start kicking off a little bit of college early, we could do that for y'all. Most definitely, we've been trying to hold off on college. We do want to talk about it a little bit more, but yeah, if y'all want us to hear us talk about football a little bit more, NFL, your favorite teams, stuff like that, let us know and we can get going.
Yep, absolutely. You know where to find this. We're not hard to find. But other than that, peace out, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.